Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually more winners bracket round number 3. I'm Gandhi, and I got Bravo back in booth, and we are already jumping into the game. We do not want to keep you guys waiting, but this is going to be Fnatic Classic taking on Milk and Cookies.
Yes, this roster a little bit of a adjusted Active Rush roster. As you see the old Active Rush folks there, along with Frosty and Aries. So interesting to see if they'll be able to give Classic some competition on this first game on Zealot.
Yeah, and you know, one thing about Classic is we were expecting them to come in with a much higher seed. They have a lot of good free-for-all players on their team, but they just fell a little bit short here. But, you know, we saw them throughout the LANs at the LAN network, and we realized that this team definitely looks solid coming into this event.
Right, they're up here with a quick 5-1 lead here on Zealot. They're going to be looking to grab gold control. You see Chig here with the sniper at top gold. Interesting, I talked to Chig this week, asking him a few questions about the team. You know, pretty excited about their roster. They made some noise, of course, as you said, against Straight Rippin'. And he actually told me that Prototype grabbed the snipe off the start on every map. And we actually saw Prototype go top gold. You guys were unable to see that, but Chig actually grabbed it here. So I wonder perhaps if they're having maybe some mid-tournament, you know, just a change. Nothing really wrong with the team, but maybe Chig's feeling really comfortable or hot with the sniper. Scott, back in Halo 2, is that something that happened a lot? You know, if it's Jay, I'm sniping really well. You know, let me grab the sniper. Is that something we see in these pro teams?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Bravo, players are just so versatile at this top tier, and you know that. You coached one of the better teams in Halo 3 and Triggers Down, and when players get hot, you just say, hey, man, this guy's heating up with it. And luckily, Fnatic Classic has a really good coach, and I'm looking for him to actually step this up. And you have to know when the players are feeling good and when they're not.
Right, one thing I love to talk about that I haven't gotten a chance to talk about this weekend is definitely being vocal and very, very excited about the game in split screen mode. Obviously, I got my start in Halo 2 coaching split screen players back in Charlotte 2007, and I kind of got my name out in the community because I was very vocal. You know, I was very loud. Back then, guys, keep in mind, no one was wearing headphones. Very few teams had Sennheiser headphones like Final Boss was wearing. Not everyone heard game audio, so you have players listening to game audio through their TVs on split screen, very small screens, in a huge crowded ballroom. So his ability to really control what's going on throughout this game and relay that information to his team is going to be very important. As you see, they're only up here by 6 kills.
Yep, and you know, Milk and Cookies, this is no joke squad here. We have Frosty and Aries who are on Active Rush, who finished in the top 8 at our national championship, so they're definitely looking to gun it. And actually, Frosty and Aries, you could argue that they were some of the better players. Sneaky Beaver, Frosty's brother, actually leaving him for this event, and it's kind of like a little bit of brother turmoil, you know? It's like, oh, why, how dare you leave me?
Yeah, as you said, really surprised also that Frosty and his roster seem to step it up at certain times in the season. You know, not necessarily one of those big names in the Halo scene, but a lot of players, you know Frosty, and they've seen him play at tournament time and time again. I remember actually back in Orlando 2007, a big top 8 finish at the end of Halo 2. You know, very, very respectable for him.
Absolutely. So taking a look at this, Fnatic Classic still holding onto their lead, and this has kind of been a little bit chaotic. Finally, now we are seeing as Milk and Cookies will be able to control top gold, and that seems to be the general strategy here, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think what we're still seeing, even with these new settings, is that teams are definitely looking to control top gold. You don't have to put too much pressure on it, but remember, I always stress this point: you can't get top gold control without really holding down top mid control, because it really leaves a gap in your setup. You want to have that top mid player who can use those shields to angle himself away from the enemy, and then you can wait for those gold guys to flank in and push in on the street. So look for each team to try to get that top mid control along with top gold control.
Well, now Fnatic Classic has extended their lead to 12, make that 13 as Aries will go down. They are just doing an extra job of swarming this team. And you have to wonder here now, Classic coming on so strong in this team Slayer, it almost seems that Milk and Cookies needs almost a warm-up almost. Yeah,
I think that's actually a big part of this tournament, Scott, is that we have the split screen play. We have a level playing field for pros and amateurs, and a lot of teams aren't getting the warm-up they're used to. A lot of pros are used to having their pro lounge. They're used to be able to sit down, warm up, shoot on free-for-all for a while, you know, maybe play a few 4v4 matches here and there against another team who's warming up, and you can come into the match, your communication is ready, your shot is ready, and you're ready to go. Here, we have split screen, and a lot of teams might not be as warmed up as they're used to being.
Yeah. So Frosty and Aries are going to be working together. Frosty's going to be taken out, but Aries is doing a good job with that grenade launcher until he is taken out. We are taking a look right now at Chig, and I do believe that is Straight Sick. It's hard to tell with the hood. Yeah. They have the same complexion. You know, they're tan guys.
They are.
They're not the usual, you know, Halo players. We're pale, you know. We hang out, you know.
So right now, it looks like actually they're about to close out this game with a pretty dominating performance. We've seen Prototype with the most kills for quite a while. There was a point where he had 10, and the most we saw from Milk and Cookies was only 5 kills. So very dominating performance here. Probably not going to get the steak dinner, but yeah, they might go home hungry after this win, so they're going to want to grab game 2 as well.
Yep, so they are just 8 kills away here as Team Classic has just held the lead from the beginning. They haven't really looked back since. They seem to have such good communication. I'm seeing Chig and Straight Sick working together, and Russo and Prototype. They're just staying on the same sides of the map as the people they actually screen with. Now, do you think you take that into consideration, since a lot of teams do run that kind of buddy system where you split the maps in 2s?
Definitely. In split screen, when they're playing, this isn't the highest level of competition that they're playing against. They can kind of simplify things down to staying in the pack of 2. Obviously at the pro level, very difficult to do. But here, against one of the lower seeded teams, they can probably get away with, hey, you and me, let's go gold. On the fly communication, they can really get away with that. As you see, I want to point out during these last few minutes, look how many kills Milk and Cookies has gotten, because as you guys will have noticed, Classic did not have top mid control at all. They were fighting from the bottom of the bases, they were fighting from the health packs, and now it's actually a 49-40 game, and can you believe it? Yeah.
Well, you would have to say that it is kind of rare to see Classic lose that game type right there. When you're just 1 kill away, you pretty much are going to win that out. But so Classic's going to jump on the board first. That is going to be 1-0 over Milk and Cookies, and we are going to take a look at the stats here. And once the player throws it up there, I'll have it for you. So, P. Tizibe, 16 kills, 5 assists, 11 deaths. Straight Sick right there with them. The free-for-all buddies doing well. On the other side, Aries and Milk actually leading their team. You would expect Frosty to kind of be up there, but nonetheless, that entire game was pretty much dictated by the pace of Classic.
Yeah, really no surprise there, as you had mentioned. Prototype and Straight Sick on top. They've been playing Zealot all day yesterday. They're probably really warmed up on the map. They've got their routes down. They've probably got a few grenades in their bag of tricks that other players might not have, as experienced free-for-all players with so many matches on Zealot, excuse me. So congrats to them, and they're going to want to carry that momentum, as T-Squared was saying, right into game 2. They just steamrolled the team. Now all they want to do is just carry that momentum into game 2 and move on to their next match.
And it is a little bit differently being on the main stage just before. It did us a little bit differently because we weren't run the commercials on the featured station. You go from one game right into the other. And now with that said, we are going to have a quick word from our sponsors, so stay tuned.